Buffalo Mountain 199. Been wanting to do this one for some time now. We began at the junction of 1326 and 199 and finished up where 199 actually feeds directly into Trail 98. At the start of the morning at Buffalo Mountain Trailhead, worked our way over about a little over 20 miles to Mattawan, had some sandwiches, lunch, before we proceeded back to the trailhead there at Buffalo Mountain. So a little over 40 miles round trip today. This section of 199 I think is a little over 4 miles, and we'll take you through the entire trip here of Trail 199 here today. So this video is about a little over 30 minutes, close to 40 minutes I guess, and it's pretty much the entirety of the riding on 199. I tried to keep it down as short as I could here, cut out some of the less technical sections I guess, and all the lifting of bikes over rock ledges and whatnot, as we had to help each other through portions of this trail here. Tried to reduce it the best I could here, so I hope you enjoy it. We actually had 2 GoPros running here today. We had the one you're seeing now is my footage, and then my brother was the one that we just jumped from. So we'll kind of cut back and forth here, kind of pick up within the same place of the trail from the previous videos. You see us jump back and forth here. This is my second time down here to Hatfield, McCoy. We came down last November, early November, same time we were here this year. And we came to Buffalo Mountain, Bear Wallow, and while riding Buffalo Mountain, we hit 186, 197. Some of the tougher single tracks here at Buffalo Mountain. If you're not familiar with Hatfield, McCoy, they rate the trails based on difficulty 1 through 99. So this should technically be, according to the ratings, the most difficult trail here at Buffalo Mountain. And we're starting out, and it's like, this isn't bad. Nice single track, a little rocky, a little off camber, but nothing too terrible here. And as we get into it here further, that definitely changes, as you're going to tell here coming up. So. familiar with me or my YouTube channel, I raced the District 14 series in Michigan, hare scrambles, enduros, sprint enduros, and post a lot of those videos. But I am a C rider, I would say an upper level C rider at this point. So that's kind of my skill level as you're watching this video here on 199. So I was definitely outside of my comfort zone on a lot of this, and you know, when I rode 197 last year, I was able to ride the entire trail in its entirety. A couple of the climbs I had to hit a second time or got stuck midway up, but you know, didn't have a lot of trouble really. This is different. I don't know if it was just because you know, the rocks, and I was running a Geomax MX33 on the rear, and I will tell you, it did not hook up at all on this terrain down here. Last year when I was here, I ran a Starcross 5. I know it's really probably not designed for this type of terrain either, but it seemed to hook up a lot better than the Geomax that I ran this year. So could be part of it, but I think the large majority of it is this 199 is, from my vantage point, from my perspective, significantly more difficult than what 197 was. So now we're about 6 minutes into the trail probably, and it's becoming very apparent why this is rated as high as it is now. So we're getting into some real off camber, rocky terrain, not a lot of traction on this side hill, and I know most of you are probably aware, you know, the distortion that GoPro gives as far as angles in a video. This is probably much steeper than what it actually appears on video. The GoPro just doesn't really do those angles justice. Woo! Saw my life flash before my eyes there for a moment. And then I think the only thing I could do was laugh because I realized I was uninjured and my bike was still on the trail.
How are you?
Ready to have a sandwich. Been on this trail for 2 hours. So what's a good line down? Oh, come on, how many miles to that?
I don't know if there is one.
I think these gentlemen were from Ohio, I believe. We met. They were coming the other direction, and they were one of several groups that we passed that said, "We're going the hard way."
They said we picked the tough direction.
Yeah, we did.
At the time, I had no idea there was a easy or a harder direction, but apparently if you're starting from the Devil Ants trailhead and coming towards Buffalo Mountain trailhead, that's the direction you want to start. And if you're coming from Buffalo Mountain and going to Matewan, that's the more difficult, has the more difficult climbs in it, I guess.
Dang. Got it. Thank you. Let me get this out of the way and I'll come back. Woo! Catch my breath for a minute.
I just laugh watching this back at how hard I was breathing during this. I mean, I'm in fairly decent shape. We just got a racing season, hare scramble season, where we race for 2.5 hours, and I can do that. But man, we're only probably 30 minutes into this ride, and I'm breathing heavy. So we had five bikes on this trail 199 today. Brad is from Kentucky. He's definitely an A-level rider. My brother Cade and Derek. Derek's from Kentucky. Cade's from Indiana with me. Both top-level B riders, borderline A riders, and then Deck, as you see here, and myself. Upper level C class riders. So this was we had a wide array of skill here today, and very thankful that we had some of those real good riders here to help us through some of these sections, because like I said, 197 I rode no problem, but there was a few of these sections I'm not sure I would have gotten my bike through without actually physically lifting it. So there were a couple sections here that I had my brother ride my bike through or up. I think twice that probably happened, but can't say I did it all myself, but I don't know that many can on this particular trail.
Have you done this trail before?
Not this far. That wall back there. Me, Caleb, Madison, Chad, and Dave were doing it one day. It was really wet.
Do what?
And that one trail in there, we watched some guys struggle on it for a while. And we cut down to the road, sitting on our butts, sliding, because it was getting dark. We didn't think we'd be able to finish in time.
Oh, I'm freaking exhausted.
Should Brad go on?
Yeah.
We're almost to the ridge.
Yeah.
Well, still, that's what we said.
It doesn't get.
Every time we kept going up, I was like, this is it.
It just keeps going.
He said at the end might be a tough one, but
There's one more good one, I know. At least one.
So the gentleman in the black there in front of me rode 199 on our trip last year after we had ridden 197, and we were, I don't know, we probably had 2 hours, 2.5 hours of daylight left. So him and Brad took off on 199. We were pretty much spent from some of the other trails. We were just riding some of the easier stuff back to the hauler, and they ran out of light. So I think they rode the last 30 minutes of Trail 199 in the dark without any lights, and made it back. I mean, they didn't get back to the cabin until, you know, probably 8:30, 9 o'clock that night. Like we were starting to worry about them a little bit, but definitely not a place, not a trail you want to get stuck on without light. So we started this early in the day. You know, we'd probably ridden half hour or so before, maybe an hour before we actually came over to hit this trail.
Bike won't start. Here's my ground again.
Yeah, so this was fun. We get up here on the
if
top
not,
of the
we're
mountain.
pushing it right there.
Probably not quite halfway through yet, and my bike wouldn't start, and
Setter in the
happened to be the ground wire underneath the seat,
Give her a
fortunately, so
little
it's an
push
easy
up.
fix. I don't know if there's just a little bit of dirt or corrosion in there over the time, but I had this same problem in the spring. Switched out the ground wire to the other side of the frame, and it worked all year until I get to the top of this mountain in the middle of nowhere, and then it decides to fail me again. But I could just
Trail. Hey,
retighten it back down,
we're on
and
199.
fortunately it fired back up.
There's a clearing. Just lower the hoist. Hey, look at this.
We were talking about the other options. It's like, well, if it doesn't start, we can do one of two things. We can call in a rescue helicopter and hoist it out,
I only need to do this trail once
shove
in
it
my
off the
life.
mountain, or just leave it here. That was about our option. So no Kickstarter on the KTM there, so when the battery dies or you have some type of electrical issue, you're in trouble. That's one thing I wish it had for sure, and wish they'd put them on all those bikes as a backup. Probably the craziest thing about this trail is every time you think you got your final climb done, there's always one more around the corner. You'll get a nice little stretch you can ride like that, and then it just feeds you into another obstacle or another little up section, another little climb. So it's always full of surprises for you, I guess. Yeah, the only time I've been down here is in November once the leaves have fallen, but it makes some of these downhill sections a little bit trickier than they probably should be, I guess, just because the leaves will cover some of those larger rocks that can deflect you and really take you down. But this next section that we're coming into here, we'll run a little. We stayed here for some time. It was probably one of the tougher climbs that we had throughout the day, and a few different clips here. Just sit back and enjoy. Now we'll take a look at what that looked like from the rider's perspective.
Non-pipe side.
As Zach Attack would say, a lot of front wheel drive action going on through this section. Just pulling people along by the front tire.
Hang on. Got it? You good?
Need help before I go on the mountain?
Almost lost it there. It was my brother Cade, and almost threw that bike down the mountain. rock formation here was pretty cool. There were several of these along the trail here, but this one's probably the most significant. You get to go into this little log there. It's pretty cool. So at this point, you're just getting to really take in some real scenic views here, kind of on the downward side of 199 at this point, and for the most part, the riding's getting a little bit easier. As the folks told us earlier in the trail that we ran into, once you get to the end, you probably have one more big climb, and they were right. So as we come up here, I think we have one more kind of significant climb, but you know, it's real cool riding up here. Real cool terrain.
I think I went the wrong way there. Dude, this is freaking crazy terrain up here. Grasses.
Weather was really, couldn't have asked for anything better when we were down here. So we got some rain the day before we arrived, so we got down here early afternoon and got 4 hours of riding in probably on day one, and we hit some wet sections there, a little muddy in spots, but the latter 2 days that we were here, this is our third day of riding here. The conditions were perfect. We were weather-wise, mid 50s, upper 50s, temperature-wise, pure sun every day that we rode. So we really lucked out. Couldn't ask for anything better. So if you look up ahead, that's the last climb that we have to do on 199. So we ran into those folks from Ohio earlier coming the other direction, and they kind of warned us that last one may be difficult, and it was a challenging one. Starts off not too bad, but it just kind of keeps going and kind of turns a little bit midway through, and it was a challenging climb. Let's just put it that way.
Dang it!
So mad at myself there for losing momentum.
I got out there.
I knew if I stopped here, it was going to be a challenge the rest of the way, but I just didn't have the right line there. Shot a little wide. Same spot on the trail here, just from my brother's perspective, that had already come through here. Cade's on a TE 300 Husky and with a Recluse, and that bike was awesome for this stuff. So we had one of our riders was on a 150, one of the 150 KTMs, and it struggled with some of the low-end lugging ability to get up here, man. He really had to have it ripping wide open to get up some of this stuff with that 150, but this 300, man, just is made for this type of terrain.
What do you think of Trail 199?
It's awesome.
Derek, your right buckle's loose on the bottom. Are we done yet?
Nope, we got this bad boy right here. It's got like half the hill's hard and then it gets flat.
So this is the remainder of the climb that we just started. There was a little plateau, and then you have this ahead of you.
Oh yeah!
I didn't have my GoPro on for the first section of this climb, so this is midway up right where my brother had gone down, is where we're starting here. I made it over that big lip at least, so I got the hard part out of the way, and then
Once you got over that lip, it wasn't too bad.
yeah, I made it over that first one, and then I tipped over going up the second one.
I tipped over once I got over them. I was trying to keep my feet on the peg. I was like riding a bull.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, keep your feet.
So shortly after this, my GoPro dies, but we are essentially done. We've got maybe a quarter mile or less left in the video at this point, and we'll take you home with some highlights of the trail, and really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't checked out the other videos, I've got trails, several other videos out here from Hatfield McCoy trails on my YouTube channel as well. Thanks.